9 to 5 jobs can be super boring, and for a long time, they were the definition of adulthood. But should you get a 9 to 5 job as a beginner filmmaker? Hey, filmmakers, Christian Fox here with another video for you. Today, I want to talk to you about the world of 9 to 5 jobs and tell you if you, as a beginner filmmaker, should get one. The short answer is yes, absolutely. Let's talk. As always, before I begin, let me actually define what I mean by a beginner filmmaker before we actually get into why I think you should get a 9 to 5 job. And by beginner filmmaker, I mean someone who is obviously passionate about filmmaking, but they're doing things that are more like content creation work, and they're doing more personal things like mini documentaries or short films, but they're not getting paid for it yet. And to be completely honest, that's where I fall right now. I'm doing this channel, I have my Star Trek channel, and I've done some short films, I've done some mini documentaries, but I haven't gotten paid for any of that work. Hopefully that'll change, but for right now, that is exactly where I am. Now that we have a definition, we can actually talk about 9 to 5s. And be warned, this is not the most exciting thing that I've ever said or ever will say, and you might not even want to hear it. But the reality is, if the person I just described up top is you, then yes, I really think you should consider a 9 to 5 job. The first reason that you should consider a 9 to 5, and perhaps the most important reason, is for financial security. When you have a 9 to 5, you get a guaranteed paycheck like clockwork. I've been working in the 9 to 5 world for over a decade, and I love that I know I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. I have a ton of bills like condo fees and car payments, so getting paid regularly for me is essential. It's even more important now that I'm married and have someone else to think about. Not only does having a stable paycheck help give you peace of mind, but it allows you to experiment with your projects and do unpaid volunteer work. If you have a unique idea that you're not sure about, you can go ahead and try it. Since you're getting paid from your 9 to 5, you don't have to worry about whether or not a client or your audience is going to like that thing that you're trying to make. If you were doing film work as a beginner, you would have to do things based on what people are wanting and willing to pay for, instead of doing what you want as an artist. The same is true for volunteer work. If you're doing this full time, you can't really justify volunteering. Doing an unpaid film shoot could be a great opportunity because it allows you to network with other people in the industry and give you skills that you might not have been able to develop on a paid film shoot. So if money is something that you really worry about, then seriously consider a 9 to 5. The second reason that you should consider a 9 to 5 is that it has a defined start and end time. Obviously, not every single job starts at 9 and ends at 5, but every single end and start time is actually defined. So this means that when you clock out at the end of the day, you're done and you don't have to think about it until the next day or next week. You might not necessarily be doing what you love, but it gives you time after to do just that. When I finish work at 5, I begin my 2-hour commute home.
Doors open on left.
Sounds like a lot, but I use that time on the train and bus to script and edit. This also means that my weekends are free, which I can use for more scripting, filming, hustling, and relaxing. Always hustling can be extremely tiring and give you the feeling that if you're resting, you're being lazy. Having a 9 to 5 almost forces you to relax and can help take away the guilt. Having a defined end time is sorely underrated. The final reason that you should consider having a 9 to 5 is that it gives you experience in the 9 to 5 world. You can get experience with completing assigned tasks even if you don't like them, working effectively with a boss, working effectively with a team, and managing complex information, just to name a few. All these skills are important in filmmaking, but the best experience of all is that it gives you experience that you can put on your resume. You might not think that having this experience is useful if your goal is to direct films or even run a production company, but the hard truth is that there may be a time where you need to fall back on your 9 to 5 experience if you hit a roadblock and you lose your filmmaking income. Because I have so much 9 to 5 experience, I know that if I was running a successful production company that suddenly had to fold, I could get back into the world of 9 to 5s, and especially 9 to 5s in the world of conflict resolution, which is what I studied in school. Is 9 to 5 what I really want to do for the rest of my life? No, but it's stable, secure, and still leaves me with enough free time to pursue these goals. What about you? Is a 9 to 5 something that you'd be open to, or does the idea of having 9 to 5 fill you with absolute dread? Let me know in the comments below. And if you do have some of that 9 to 5 money burning a hole in your pocket, then check out my most recent video on the top 5 things to avoid buying as a beginner filmmaker. Happy creating!